Welcome back to Taiwan In Focus. President Tsai Ing-wen has concluded her second overseas visit, which came a month after the African island nation of Sao Tome and Principe's sudden move to break their ties with Taiwan. However, Tsai's transit stops in the U.S. cities are considered more significant than the visit itself.
President Tsai Ing-wen is currently on her second overseas trip since taking office. Her itinerary includes visits to 4 Central American allies. In the wake of Sao Tome and Principe severing diplomatic relations with the ROC, other allies are reportedly thinking about following suit. Tsai's itinerary includes stops in Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and El Salvador.
不止将和友邦元首们会面，也会把握机会跟其他国家的元首代表互动交流，向国际社会展现台湾是一个有能力也有责任感的合作伙伴。
The Tsai administration wants to strengthen economic and trade ties through mutually beneficial cooperation and turn diplomatic achievements into concrete gains for the nation. Accompanying Tsai on the trip are National Security Council Secretary General Joseph Wu, Foreign Affairs Minister David Lee, and Overseas Community Affairs Council Minister Wu Xingxing. The president will meet with the overseas Chinese community and diplomatic personnel during the trip to hear their thoughts and find a new direction for the nation.
当我们踏上飞机的这一刻，我们就是一个团队，我们代表2300万的台湾，我们的国民，我们一起来为这个外交来努力。
Tsai transited in Houston en route to Central America and received American Institute in Taiwan chair James Moriarty on her plane. Many members of the overseas community also gathered outside Tsai's hotel to show their support. Tsai declined questions on whether she had meetings set up with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's camp, but a Trump spokesperson said the president-elect has no plans to meet with Tsai.
我们基于这个双方的默契还有跟我们对于美国朋友的这个尊重。 这个部分我们不做进一步的说明，好不好？
According to Tsai, Moriarty told Tsai the Democrats have kept a close watch on changes to cross-strait relations since she assumed office.
他们也注意到，两岸关系的目前的情况。那美方现在持续的在跟中国大陆方面劝说，希望能够恢复跟台湾的对话。
During Tsai's transit stop, she met with a number of GOP officials, including U.S. Senator and former candidate for the Republican presidential nomination Ted Cruz, Texas State Governor Greg Abbott, and several members of Congress.
这个 Ted Cruz 参议员他有提到说，他这次要来见总统，事实上中共方面有施压，希望他不要来见，但是他明确的表示拒绝。 因为他认为这是一个非常难得的机会，能够亲自来跟总统见面。
Tsai landed in Honduras at 6:30 a.m. on January 9th, Taiwan time. She was welcomed with a military ceremony. It was raining as Tsai got off her plane. Honduran Vice President Ricardo Alvarez Arias told her this was a good omen. Tsai said she hopes the 75-year friendship between Taiwan and Honduras can continue growing. Tsai then headed to the Honduran presidential office to meet with Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez. Tsai and Hernandez reached several agreements during the meeting: additional scholarships for Honduran students to Taiwan, assistance to Honduran micro-businesses, including Taiwanese investment, and more bilateral trade exchanges.
我们也将组织我们的企业，让我们的企业能够有机会来洪都拉斯考察，进一步的来发掘在洪都拉斯投资的机会。
Tsai hopes playing the economic cooperation card can stabilize bilateral diplomatic and trade relations in the face of highly influential corporate investment from China, in particular Huawei Technologies.
And what are the goals of President Tsai's visit to Central America? On one hand, she wants to strengthen the diplomatic ties. On the other hand, she hopes to increase the mutually beneficial cooperation with those allies.
The next stop on President Tsai Ing-wen's 9-day, 8-night overseas trip was Nicaragua. Tsai met with her Nicaraguan counterpart Daniel Ortega without informing her media entourage. However, the meeting was broadcast live by local media.
Una potencia económica y los países centroamericanos que juntos pues somos un potencial económico. Somos un potencial económico, pero que necesitamos del acompañamiento de pueblos hermanos, gobiernos hermanos como el de Taiwán, para poder avanzar hasta ser también la región centroamericana una potencia, como lo es hoy Taiwán.
我们很期待我们中美国家的友人可以快速的发展经济，让人民过好的生活。在这一点上，我们会尽我们的力量来帮忙。
Ortega expressed support for Taiwan's participation in international events and stronger bilateral ties. In response, Tsai said she would do everything in her power to develop Nicaragua's economy. In an unusual departure for Tsai, she delivered rather than read her remarks and responded directly to Ortega. She also complimented Ortega's wife several times, perhaps to demonstrate the strength of bilateral relations.
我是被部长通知要去的，需要事你就问部长。
Tsai was in good spirits when she left her hotel. Her private meeting with Ortega lasted nearly 2 hours. Foreign Affairs Minister David Lee said the meeting went very well, but the ministry was unaware the meeting would take place beforehand. The session was broadcast live by local media.
今天谈话的气氛非常的愉快，说老实话，跟国内前段时间的一些揣测是完全相反的。就是说，他现场转播啊，这个连我们的大使馆也事前是完全也没有掌握，因为我想也是这个尼国的这个，就是他今天是等于是就职的前一天，所以整个的这个。他这个进行啊，也都是比较特殊的情形。
Tsai posted a photo of herself with Ortega on her Facebook page and said both sides hope there can be future opportunities for closer cooperation. According to Tsai, Ortega also said Nicaragua has always supported Taiwan's participation in international organizations.
尼加拉瓜本身，它因为它政权的性质。所以它跟中国大陆一定会有一些联系了，确实不能排除有一些需要担心的地方。
Ortega is now serving his third term as president, and his new vice president is none other than his wife, Rosario Murillo. Tsai was seated next to Murillo during the inauguration ceremony. While making introductions, Ortega introduced Tsai to other foreign dignitaries as the president of Taiwan.
Presidenta Tsai, la hermana presidenta Tsai de la República de Taiwán, que nos acompaña.
Tsai was one of 5 heads of state in attendance. The others were Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, Bolivian President Evo Morales, Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, and Salvadoran President Salvador Sanchez Cerén. Tsai took advantage of the opportunity to speak with the other heads of state and Murillo.
总统的桌牌，通常我们习惯它上面就是 honor， 今天他们比较特别的，前面是写了姐妹。那总统问了一下总统夫人说，这个为什么是这样写？那总统说，因为你就是我们尼国的姐妹。
Guatemalan President Jimmy Morales welcomed Tsai to his country with a military ceremony. In his speech, he expressed hopes for closer bilateral relations and called for Taiwan's assistance in transportation, tourism, and other areas. Tsai said she hoped various plans for mutually beneficial cooperation would bring the two sides closer together.
President Tsai's last stop is El Salvador, but before that, she was traveling from Guatemala, where she delivered a speech to its Congress. President Tsai is very interested in the efforts by Central American countries to upgrade their industries. She said the Republic of China will try out a new diplomatic approach that focuses on mutually beneficial cooperation projects. However, she met with Salvadoran students who studied in Taiwan on government scholarships and hopes to help the nation's allies cultivate more talents. President Tsai Ing-wen has concluded her second foreign visit since taking office, while the focus of her 9-day trip is to bolster relations with Taiwan's Central American allies and to explore trade opportunities. Tsai's U.S. stopovers are being scrutinized by experts, observers, and of course, China. Many believe that this trip is to reassure Taiwan's few allies abroad, but still inevitably cause the escalation of the already tense Beijing-Taiwan relations. And Tsai traveled to Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and El Salvador with stopovers in Houston and San Francisco. The countries may not be geopolitical heavyweights, but they carry outsized importance for Taiwan. The 4 Central American countries represent a significant portion of only 21 countries in the world that recognize Taiwan's sovereignty. As Professor Li Dazhong points out, Taiwan's few friends in Central America are now all the more important.
Nicaragua is also one of the Taiwan's foreign countries who might be willing to rebuild formal diplomatic ties with Beijing. So that's the main reason why President Tsai Ing-wen wants to strengthen the official ties between Taipei and Nicaragua.
The periodic trips by the Taiwanese administration to Central and South America have been performed many years, so there's nothing new here. However, this trip came after losing the African island nation of Sao Tome and Principe, which resumed diplomatic relations with Beijing last month. For the 8 years of Ma's presidency, there was an unspoken diplomatic truce in which China refrained from grabbing Taiwan's diplomatic allies. Tsai was well prepared for the end of President Ma Ying-jeou's diplomatic truce long before her inauguration. But many believe that Sao Tome and Principe marks the end of diplomatic truce and the beginning of a new competition.
Tsai Ing-wen's interaction with Donald Trump has already deeply angered Beijing. So they already take one punishing step. So I think the Tsai Ing-wen's government worried that Beijing may take further countermeasures by breaking that Taiwan's diplomatic ties, especially in the areas that President Tsai is going to visit.
Tsai's Central America tour not only had a stopover in the United States, but also met with U.S. officials is a well-expected displeasure of Beijing. Although Tsai did not meet with President-elect Donald Trump or members of his team this time, as some had speculated, Donald Trump has said that he would not be bound by one China policy and left open the possibility of meeting with Tsai after taking office. As Donald Trump prepares to become the 45th president of the United States, relations between Washington and Taipei appear on the upswing. The unprecedented phone call between the two world leaders in early December has also angered China.
First, he accepted the congratulatory phone call from Tsai Ing-wen, and that has been unprecedented since 1979. So that already make noted by everyone, and so astonished to the Beijing.
President Tsai perhaps did not help matters by flying to Houston to meet with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Senator Ted Cruz, which sparked another diplomatic rebuke from China. To underline Beijing's concerns about closer U.S. ties with Taiwan, the Chinese Navy sailed its aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, through the Taiwan Strait. The Taiwanese Air Force and Navy also scrambled jets and ships in response. Cruz and Abbott's meeting with Tsai in Texas is particularly significant amid heightened tensions between the United States and China. In 1995, Beijing conducted exercises intended to intimidate Taiwan after the U.S. granted a visa for then Taiwanese President Lee Teng-hui to speak at Cornell University. At the time, no Taiwanese leader had been allowed into the United States since 1979.
The Taiwan experience bases peaceful political change on the foundation of stable and continuous economic development.
In 1995, a lobbying group persuaded the U.S. Congress to vote overwhelmingly, urging Clinton to allow the ROC former President Lee Teng-hui a visa so that he could attend the class reunion at Cornell University and had a speech there. His visit in the United States has helped Taiwan increase the global exposure and gain himself good reputation. Between Beijing's ire and Trump's stances on China, Taiwan's few friends in Central America are now all the more important. But some Central American leaders likely to know that and may try to leverage their newfound attention for a bidding war between China and Taiwan's checkbooks. If that's the case, Tsai could be fighting a battle against the world's second largest economy. In the meantime, while a Chinese carrier in Taiwan Strait isn't always a reason for panic, but Beijing is expected to manufacture tension constantly in order to generate pressure on Taiwan to give in to Beijing's demand.